Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take presented by Chinook Theater. This is episode 562. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host and just dear, wonderful friend, Nate Reyes. The last thing you said to me before we hopped on this episode is you said, I hate baseball. So I feel like this is a great day to talk about it. We got a lot of things to get into here. Some things that I know you're just thoroughly going to enjoy talking about. We're going to talk some Sox Yanks. We're going to talk about your favorite team in the NL, the Pirates, who you just can't talk about enough. I mean,
what is this episode?
Every time we talk about the Pirates, you said, please, Kyle, can we make sure we cover the Pirates next episode too? I just love the Pirates. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles and some other items as well. But before we do any of that, we got to talk about the unfortunate news of Zack Wheeler being done for the year. I'm pissed. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm pissed. I've been pulling for this guy to win a Cy Young for years now. And every opportunity that this guy gets, he's been at or near the top of the Cy Young voting for what seems like every one of the last 5 years, I feel like, and just either gets robbed, I feel like, or there's something that happens like this and the guy's chances get cut short. And now we're finding out that he is out for what's expected to be 6 to 8 months following the surgery to square away thoracic outlet syndrome. You sort of alluded to knowing a little bit about this and having some background on this. What all does this entail?
I don't fully know. I'm not any kind of doctor. I think there was the update that there was a blood clot situation. I can't really speak too much about like the thoracic outlet syndrome. I believe, sorry, Mom, I don't mean to like out you, but like my mom had something similar a few years back when I was in college, and she had a rib removed, and I'm trying to remember it, but I feel like this is what she had. And if for those who don't know, like your highest rib is like up near your collarbone. So it kind of adds up with it being close to the shoulder.
Yeah, they said in the article that this surgery typically entails the removal of a rib, and I'm just like so nonchalantly thrown in there as like a footnote, like, oh yeah, Zack Wheeler may or may not have a rib removed. If you didn't know that was like a thing, if you didn't know that a rib could be taken out of your body, I remember hearing that for the first time, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, how is that a thing? How is that going to solve anything? But it is a pretty serious issue, obviously. And it is like, it's like a life thing. It's not, I think it's difficult to always have the lens of like a fan and our sport in mind. But like when you have blood clots and when you have this type of situation, you got to remind yourself it's like that. This is kind of like a life decision that was made. But when she had it removed, she had like, it's not fun. It's a pretty serious thing. And she had to wear this, like, at least right after the surgery. Cause like when you're learning how to like breathe without a rib that you've had your whole life, you're like, your body, when you're sitting in this hospital bed, and if you're sitting up, she said that like there wasn't really, like, every once in a while you could find this perfect angle of not laying flat but not sitting up all the way that provided some type of relief. And she couldn't really sleep at night. You're not laying on your side. Like there's like a lot that goes into that. And then she requested, they came in with like this huge like corset
strap thing that like is like this harness that kind of just like squeezes and compresses your body to where your ribs aren't like relaxing down as you're inhaling, exhaling kind of thing. So crazy to even consider it, but also crazier to imagine getting back into like a competing phase. You know what I mean? Like getting back to an athletic phase where you can compete at a high level, the highest of levels. We got to remember that. Like it's like there are levels of having to like learn how to breathe again and like training your body you had something removed from it. It's not very simple. So he's going to have to learn how to throw again. He's going to learn how to like go through that whole process. That's tough.
And you brought up a good point, and I'm guilty of it. I mean, I could not have.
We all are.
I could not have been more guilty of it right off the top. I'm like, I'm pissed, dude. This guy loses his chance at another Cy Young. And you bring up a good point. Like, this is like a very serious condition here that Zack Wheeler is facing, and a tough decision had to be made. And, you know, I got to be able to step back and be like, there are things, as much as we love baseball, as dedicated as we are as fans, as dedicated as these players are, like sometimes you have to step back and realize like it's like this is more important that he protects his health and you know the rest of his life with the decisions like this. So like we said last time when the news officially broke about Wheeler, you know, you wish for a healthy recovery. You wish nothing but the best for Wheeler and his family, and just hope that he for his sake, because you know this guy's a competitor. This guy just wants to get back out and continue dominating the way he has pretty much for the entirety of his career. And you just hope that he can get back quickly and healthily and continue to do what he does efficiently and effectively. So just some tough news for the Phillies, tough news for Wheeler.
Tough to like just sit here and like pencil them in or Sharpie them, I should say, to like automatically be in the NLCS and like have I'm not going to say like a shoe-in attempt at the World Series, but like it felt that way. It's felt that way for a good 2 months now of just really good baseball, top of the NL. But like removing an ace and a Cy Young candidate, I don't care who you are. I don't care how deep your rotation is. Like that is a blow. I mean, it really is, but we can honestly, you circle back to the team of destiny conversation every year. You sort of pick out a team around the league, and you're sort of keeping an eye on them, going, okay, like is this going to be the team that sort of fits that label? And I'm not saying just yet that that's the Phillies, but I will be curious to see how this team continues to play over the remaining month and change of the regular season. Because if they can keep winning, in fact, if they can even figure out ways to sort of roll through this last month, it might be worth having a conversation of like, okay, are the Phillies going to be this team that, even though they similar to, we mentioned it last time we talked about the Wheeler news, similar to the Braves with Acuna. You look at the Braves, you're going, there's no way you can absorb a blow like losing Acuna. Right. And what do? They go out and win the World Series. So if the Phillies can keep their heads above water and even maybe go on a little bit of a roll here in this last month, it's like, all right, maybe their rotation is deep enough that it can absorb this blow. But to your point, it's a blow nonetheless. Like nobody wants to lose a guy like Zack Wheeler. That's just a fact. I thought it sounded familiar, by the way. I texted my mom and I said, hey, when you had your rib removed, what was the reason for that again? Thoracic outlet syndrome. Yeah. And she said, man. I mean, I'm not going to out my mom's health here on live social media, but she's had some stuff. And I remember that one being like one of the tougher things she's dealt with. So you just hope that, just kind of taking that step outside the lines a little bit. And I know that's what we're here for. Look, we're not doctors. We don't know all the details. We're here to cover our favorite sport, but it is hard to remind yourself. It's like, this one isn't as like it's a baseball injury. He didn't blow his ACL out. He didn't blow his elbow out. This is just kind of a freak thing that like sometimes people get, and you just hope that like number one priority is that he, as a human, as a person, and for his family, that he can get back to full health. And then from there, it's like, I hope he does get the chance to compete at his maximum again. And like, I hope he gets another bid at a Cy Young. Cause like, you're right, dude. He's been so good for so long. And like, he is at that point of creeping into, I don't know what the overall numbers look like, but I can guarantee you that if he was keeping up at this rate, that there was a Hall of Fame consideration or conversation that was going to start to be had. So you hope that he's able to get back to that level. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to just slot in the Phillies. I understand the destiny thing, but like,
I mean, Christopher Sanchez, his fellow rotation mate,
he'd probably be an ace anywhere else.
Also in the mix for the Cy Young here. Like, let's not lose sight of that. So going back to the point about what that rotation looks like, I think that it's not that they just have depth. They've got Cy Young caliber arms, plural, multiple, that they're able to work with. So that's
Ranger Suarez went out and dealt today too. So it's like they have depth.
I'm telling you, man, even, sans Zack Wheeler, that rotation is going to be something to behold this offseason. This postseason. Speaking of the postseason, do we think let's switch gears here to what I believe your most highly anticipated topic of the day is.
Yeah, let's do this.
Do we think? No, look, I'm gonna take the proverbial Red Sox hat off here for just a moment, okay?
I have to.
I have a literal hat on, but I'm gonna take the proverbial hat on, and I want to ask you, one of the most intense Yankee fans that I know, so much to the point where I didn't even really text you.
I appreciated it.
The last 3 days, we've learned over the years that things can often go unsaid between us during series like this. I think we're past the point of ribbing. You just know, what I'm thinking. I know what you're thinking, and we kind of have this.
And we both know what we're dealing with when we're on the low end of that. Yeah. We both know what our wives are dealing with.
Oh yeah. But I want to ask you some of the hard-hitting questions here. We need to let it air out. The series isn't even over. I mean, as of right now, they haven't. We're still on the other side of Sunday Night Baseball, Game 4 of the series tonight. But 3 straight wins for the Sox, an absolute bludgeoning on Saturday. Roman Anthony making his mark Thursday night, sort of introducing himself to the Yankee fans that may have not been all that familiar with who he was. A lot of talk. I did text you last night. However, I didn't say anything in response to the game, but I did say, I texted you and I said, hey, your quote graphic from a couple weeks back about you saying that Aaron Boone needs to be fired, Posada would be a dream. And it hit a lull after I had posted it, but I noticed a lot of comments. It must have hit the Yankee stratosphere because it got picked up by some pretty distraught Yankee fans, and it's starting to pick up some traction with some pretty angry comments. So let me ask you this, and I even see it in the chat here from our dear friend Pudge. Maybe he doesn't get fired tonight, but when does the conversation about Boone being let go actually begin to get serious? Because I feel like it's been nothing but a talking point, something that people like us, these mainstream media networks can easily just float around as a topic to debate. But I don't feel, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel as though the conversations have actually gotten serious about what it would look like to have a Yankees team managed by somebody other than Aaron Boone. Are we even getting anywhere close to that, you think?
I think the only way it happens is if Cashman gets fired. And I need that to happen. I want that to happen. I need this overhaul of philosophy to change. I think the voice in the clubhouse is important. And I think that you got to have, like, I don't know. My only reference is the Yankees that I grew up with. That's my only reference. And it was successful, obviously. So when you look at, like, if I'm not saying that's the only recipe to have success, but when you look at that, you have a captain that goes out and is only worried about winning. And then you have these role players that just kind of slot in and fit in. You have your quiet leaders, you have your emotional leaders, you have your policing that happens. And that's why I brought up the name of, like, a Posada, is because, like, again, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but you as a Sox fan, like, Veritek was a captain, but Veritek was very, like, this is how we play here. And you got to have that vocal, you got to have that watch how I do it and lead by example type. Like, there's got to be this right recipe to create this winning culture, if you will. I think Aaron Judge is a great captain. I think he is probably learning as he goes. But this whole buddy, I'm going to back you, I'm going to support you no matter what kind of, it's done. It's not working. And
a little bit of a tiff between, a little bit of a misunderstanding, a little bit of drama here between Judge and Boone I'm reading about.
I don't know. It's just like, it's this coddling that I just don't understand. And I can get behind players wanting to play for a player's manager. I understand that philosophy. But if you don't have someone else in that clubhouse, and I think Stanton kind of tries to play that role of, like, policing it, but it's not working. This doesn't work. They're soft. There is no bounce back. There's no attitude. There's no punch you in the mouth. There's no step on your throat. There's no embarrassed. I'm embarrassed as a Yankee fan. Why is there no embarrassment on their end? It's this weird combination of, like, players have to play well, obviously. Managers have to say and do the right things and press the right buttons. Your front office has to develop the correct roster. And when you look down that path, they've passed on names. Bryce Harper never even got an offer. We passed on Corey Seager for Anthony Volpe. We've shipped out, I don't know, near a half a dozen catchers for Austin Wells. There's a development issue. There's a scouting issue. There is a look in the mirror issue. There are so many issues that go beyond Boone. So I can't just sit here and lay it all on at his feet. There's a lot to go around here as far as blame goes. And I don't know if I can specifically peg it in any one direction. But I can tell you that this doesn't work. And for this team to sit here and continue to gaslight their fan base for this entire era, it just doesn't make sense. I can't do it. Kyle, let's go to you.
Yeah. I just had quick something to say. Okay, so honesty hour here, because you, for the last, we'll just say last 2-3 weeks, I have been on you every
It's my
time.
dryer. I didn't even know here's my wife scrambling to get to the dryer. Sorry about that.
Love that. Hey, that's life.
Yeah.
That's the business we call show. No, I've been on you for the last 2-3 weeks. Anytime that you bring up like, oh, the season's over, man. I can't watch baseball anymore. I'm on to football. I got my fantasy draft coming up. That's the only thing I have to look forward to. And I would look at the wild card standings and be like, what are you talking about? I'd want to like reach through the camera, smack it across the face, and be like, what are you talking about?
Now you get it.
I had a little change of heart after this weekend's showing from the Yankees. I go, I get it, because if this is what you've had to put up with all year, despite
it's insane.
Again, despite holding a wild card spot, the fact that again, we've talked about the American League is weaker this year. If this is sort of the lackadaisical, lackluster team that you've had to watch as they've strolled out there, I'd be kind of frustrated too.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is that like it's this false hope that you get during certain stretches. Obviously, I was on a high after the deadline. I feel like certain buttons are pressed and you're like, makes sense. That's a good button. I think you pulled the right trigger here.
I like that button.
But it's so frustrating that you're seeing the same thing happen over and over again, to where at a certain point, it doesn't matter who's on the roster. It's bad defense. It's contagiously bad offense.
Anthony Volpe, do you want to talk defense?
Not good.
Horrendous.
Not
Dude,
good.
Yeats just about any ball hit his way into the
How many times did you see a knee go
deck.
down this series, by the way?
What are we doing?
How are you going down to your knees on ground balls so often? What is that?
What
are you doing?
Didn't they say he wouldn't have a job if he hadn't met Jeter back in the day? Like, is there any truth to that? Because there's no way. And the same go, like we said, for Boone. The same goes for Boone. If he doesn't hit that home run in 2003, are we having different conversations here?
100%.
Because there is a lot of weird, misconstrued loyalty being shown here when I don't know that it's entirely deserved, or at the very least, maybe it was initially, but I think it's run its course. More so with Boone. Volpe is a different situation. Boone's been there much longer, but I don't want to keep barking up the Boone tree, but let me ask you this. Was this weekend, and I don't want to be a victim of the moment here, but having watched them go up against what I believe to be a postseason team in the Boston Red Sox this weekend, and have the showing that they had, again, we haven't even played the fourth and final game of the series, but even just the first 3 games of the series, I don't know that the Yankees are the way that they're built right now. I don't know that it's a postseason team. So with that said, was this weekend their funeral, given who they were going up against, given the way the weekend went? And, I feel like we've reached a boiling point with some of these things that we've talked about, like Boone and other things. Is there hope for this Yankees team? Laura doesn't think so. She says afternoon, Nate and Kyle, Yankees are toast. I mean, just cutting right to it.
I'm not going to full on say they missed the postseason. They're facing, they can't beat good teams. They don't know how to beat anybody that's good.
Anthony Volpe's trying to turn 2.
What?
And gets nobody out.
I don't know what that was. That was one of the most insane. There's so much. There's a lack of baseball IQ. It's crazy.
That's a wide issue.
It is, but it's clear here as well. I don't think that I can fully say they missed the postseason, because I think there's enough talent on the roster to keep it afloat, and the schedule is really bad the rest of the way. They play well against bad teams. You saw what they did, and I think they had something insane. It was like 12 or 14 home runs in a 2-game series with the Rays before this series last week.
Clearly, they unloaded all of their offense.
100%. They don't know how
Field.
to. They don't know how to beat anybody that's good. They're not going to make a run in the postseason. I think there's some flexibility that comes around when Judge is going to bounce back to the outfield here in the coming weeks. I think that the official trigger needs to be pulled on rotating between Caballero and Ahmed Rosario at shortstop, and Volpe's. It's done. It's got to be done. It's horrendous. He's one of the worst qualified shortstops defensively and offensively. It's got to be done. They've already kind of like started to force Ben Rice behind the dish more than Austin Wells at this point.
Which, by the way, he had a little bit of a rough showing early in the series too.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him because he spent the last 2 years trying to figure out first base and not catching, and then he starts hitting. Surprise! That's why we kept him around. He started hitting and doing that, and then you're like, oh well, we have a DH. So we brought in a first baseman, so maybe we'll try him at catcher again. You're like, oh, that's great. By the way, the catcher across the diamond in the other dugout, who was in an All-Star game this year, was something that you said no to for an Uber driver. It doesn't compute. There's the analysis of their own team does not check out. It doesn't make sense. There's something off with the entire organization on how they evaluate, how they scout, how they develop, how they coach. All of it needs to be washed away and rebuilt entirely. Now you know why I've mentally moved on to football.
I think I saw something on the broadcast the other night where it said this is their, and you may have seen it, it's like their third or fourth longest title drought.
Yeah. I think there was one, like the longest one's in the 20s. It was like the pre-Babe era.
Yeah, so we're like third. I think it said third. I may be way off on that, but I think it was right around third longest title drought. But they continue to, like you said, I think gaslighting is a key word here. They continue to just, push the company line. It's right in front of us. We're doing the right things, yada, yada, yada. They continue to lose. They continue to get embarrassed. They continue to not win a World Series title, which is the ultimate goal. And I'm not saying it's easy or that it should be easy or that it should be something that's viewed as guaranteed or automatic, even with a team like the Yankees, who have historically been good for the last quarter century, just not good enough to get it done. To that point, though, I don't think they're doing themselves any favors by, again, showing loyalty maybe where it doesn't need to be shown any longer, or continuing to slot personnel in positions that they don't need to be in. Again, we're not in a front office, but there's certain decisions that I just feel like 9 out of 10 people could look at and be like, well, maybe we should go with this option instead. But the Yankees continue to insist upon their own way, and that's why they're at where they're at.
Yep. Yeah. I told you last year that team was not good enough, because I watch them every day, and this is the stuff I see. The valleys are so low. Lower than any other playoff contending team. Every team has bad stretches. Every team has bad performances. This is hands down. This chapter, this era, it gets so bad. And we get told it's baseball. We get told that, well, our evaluation says that he'll turn it around. Our evaluation says he ranks higher than that. It doesn't work. And like, say what you will about Yankees fans, but for the most part, we're pretty tapped in and we're pretty involved and we're pretty into it. And like, fans in general across all sports have more access to stats and are watching more than they ever have. So you can't sit here and tell us that we're wrong when we're just clearly watching it. There's an eye test and there's actual stats confirming our opinion. And you're telling us we're wrong for years now. It's insane.
You know what else is insane, Nate? Cal Raleigh stands alone as the all-time homer leader as a catcher. I think he's already got 2 on the day. He hit his 48th about a half hour ago. Just hit his 49th. Well, I say all-time, specifically in the season, obviously. 49 homers for Cal Raleigh. What a feat for Big Dumper, man. And on this beautiful Sunday, I'm looking at it right now. Could not be a better day for baseball in Seattle.
It's cool, man. It's cool. I don't know what it is, but like, it just hits harder. It hits harder when you have offensive catchers that are able to do this. They're able to do this kind of damage, man. Not to mention a well above average defender as well. Like, this is awesome to see. It's good to see for Seattle too. They need it.
Hey, since we're talking Cal Raleigh, who wins the AL MVP? No, I'm just kidding. We don't have
Can't
to
go down that road.
We don't have to. We don't need to go down this road anymore. But big news for Cal Raleigh. Again, to clarify what I said earlier, not the all-time leader in home runs as a catcher, but for a single season has passed Sal Perez, who had 48 prior to this. And honestly, if this year hadn't happened with Cal Raleigh, I would have been like, does a catcher end up hitting more than 48? Like, the 48's a lot of homers.
It's a lot
for a catcher. And I would have been, if you would have told me, hey, no catcher hits more than 48, I'd have been like, yeah, that tracks. I'm with you on that. But Cal Raleigh having an absolute career year. Good for Big Dumper. I wanted to just put a little plug there as it happened mere moments ago. But let's talk about another guy that could be quite a star. Bubba Chandler made his debut this weekend as a bulk reliever. But I'm over it now. I got all my frustration out, whatever. I said my piece. Still think it was anticlimactic, and I was informed that teams are not in the business of trying to be, you feed into the climactic nature of events like this. But my response to that is, what else do the Pirates have going for them? Like, why pull the trigger? Why empty the chamber with the one bullet you had to bring them up for a debut against the Rockies as a bulk reliever? But that's just me. What do I know? Anywho's had an exceptional outing. Allowed just 2 hits, struck out 3 across 4 innings, and got a save too, which I thought was wild. Becomes the first pitcher to throw 4 scoreless innings and record a save in his debut since saves became an officially recognized statistic in 1969. So this is exactly, I think, what the Pirates were hoping for, to see him sort of right the ship after little bit of a rocky stretch there in AAA. Sort of got things back on track and hopefully continue this or continue to build off the success he found in his debut. So I'm still looking forward to what that rotation will look like with him in it. I don't need Bubba Chandler in a bulk reliever role.
I don't either.
I don't want to fixate on that, but it's just I'm more so looking ahead to next year.
I think I've started to wrap my mind around the fact that obviously innings are kind of under watch here. I don't know what his innings were like as a starter in the minor leagues, but that's got to be a part of the equation. I think as a reliever, it allows you to have that flexibility. If there's success, if there's failure, there's not that pressure of having to pitch every fifth day. There's not that locked in schedule of having to pitch every fifth day. As much as we want to see success, as much as we want to see dominance, the way we saw it with Mr. Skeens, I think this is probably the smarter way to go about it. I do agree with. I think it gave them flexibility, because if he comes in as a starter and debuts and goes 7 shut, just lights out, you're kind of locked in as like, oh, he's a starter, I guess. And then we don't know what to do, where the innings are at. Do we get chastised for shutting him down? Like, there's a lot of that going on. So I can see coming in as a reliever, let's ease in. If he still struggles, he can hide behind the struggles. If he succeeds, we can manage that.
Stop making sense.
There's a lot of sense that is making.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about what it might look like if he struggles and approaches an innings limit. I want to see Pirates pitching like the world on fire. That's what I want to see. Okay? That's what I want to see.
This stupid song to get deleted off.
It's never coming off the soundboard unless you fly out here, break into our home, and you know how to remove it from the soundboard.
That's the toughest part. I feel like I could get
No, that's the toughest part. Not the flight out here, not breaking into the house. It's just figuring out how to take it off the soundboard.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, no fear. It's not coming off the soundboard. That is staying. Speaking of staying, gosh, man, these segues are just on point. Samuel Basallo is staying in Baltimore. They locked him up with an 8-year extension worth $67 million, includes a $5 million signing bonus. Obviously, the talking point to come from this is, what does this mean for Adley? Which we did talk about when the call-up happened.
Yeah.
Briefly, but obviously now that the Orioles have, reaffirmed their commitment to Basallo, it does beg the question, like, what does this mean for Adley? I saw that obviously he can catch. He did see some time at first. I think I read more than 100 games across 5 minor league seasons, and then obviously can slot in as a DH. So there is some positional flexibility there, sort of a typical, the typical versatility you'd get positionally when it comes to a guy that catches. You can slot him in at first, you can obviously DH him. But my initial reaction is that this doesn't necessarily mean anything long-term for Adley. I think the Adley thing is sort of its own conversation. I don't know that this move directly reflects the Orioles' desire to move on from Adley.
We just gotta see.
I think you can make both work if you want to make both work.
Of course.
It's
we just got to see. We need time.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is a full-on commitment to either one behind the dish. I think the flexibility needs to start getting developed with Adley of getting some first base time. I love what it does to a roster to have a flexibility of a backup catcher that doesn't have to just sit there as dead weight on the bench.
Great point.
And can provide a stick to DH and can provide the glove at first. Because it's so like, what does that do to your roster to have that one spot freed up, to not have to, completely worry about a backup catcher? It's going to be interesting. I don't want to see Basallo fully transition to a first base and DH. I don't want to see him, because what if Adley struggles over the next few years and then all of a sudden he is coming up on the end of his control and Basallo hasn't caught in 2 years. And the Orioles are like, well, Adley hasn't succeeded, so we're going to let him walk. Let's try and get Basallo to catch again. Like, they got to figure out how to manage this properly, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Like, say Adley just starts kicking it into gear and Samuel Basallo starts kicking it into gear. And then you're like, well, what do we do? They're both catchers. Like, they have to develop some ability to play first base. I hope they go about this the right way, and I hope they both succeed. I've never really jumped on the Adley train. I understood how good he was, but I've never really viewed him as the savior in Baltimore. But a little competition never hurts anybody, by the way. I think we forget that.
No doubt. But I think to that point, I think the reason we, not that we're rewriting history, but I think we did get excited when Adley first came up, because if I'm not mistaken, he was like the first.
Yeah, of the group.
He was like the first of the baby birds to really come up and make a splash, pun intended. And I think that's why we're like, okay, we're here. Like we're right around the corner from what this could be. And as it progressed, we're going, okay, like we're falling right in line. Like this is tracking exactly how it's like. We got Gunnar up here. We're getting some of these other guys up here. And we're like, okay, we're coming up on 100-win seasons. We're making it to the postseason. And then, obviously things sort of took a step back, and now we're going, okay, we need to reset, reassess things. And now with Basallo up, it's like, okay, now we really got to take a step back and take into account what we have here, especially considering the lack of what they did at the deadline and regarding moving personnel and maybe offloading some of the depth that they had. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think the window has closed for the Orioles, but some tougher decisions I think are going to have to be made. And these are decisions that you can't kick down you can't kick these cans down the road and be like, oh, we'll just figure it out later. Like if you want to keep this window open, you're going to have to make some signings, something that I think Orioles fans were anticipating more of at this point in this window. Signings that are actually noteworthy and not just like, well, we'll throw, what was it, 40 something million at Tyler O'Neill. Like that's kind of like a Band-Aid, really. So I don't know. We'll see, but
they need to have an honest evaluation too, and make sure that the pieces they move on from don't bite them. Stowers, that hurts. You know what I mean? Like, see him doing what he's doing in Miami. It's like, you got to figure out who to keep. And they do have to figure out who to, like, you can't just sit on it. You got to move guys, because there is this, I think, time period where, like, you can't allow these guys to just sit in the minor league system for too long and then kind of get ruined and lose their value. You know what I mean? Like, this is not easy to manage. I guess they tanked for too long.
Closing the book here, just some items. I didn't feel as though it warranted a full segment here, but I just wanted to say a quick little something on the Padres-Dodgers series. I hope the Dodgers fans that were running their mouth after the sweep of the Padres like a week ago, take a good look in the mirror when they wake up Monday morning.
Kind of an annoying fan base, aren't they?
We're on the verge. We're on the verge as the Padres go up 2-1 on the Padres go up 2-1 on the Dodgers here in the third. If there's still a lot of ball left, but if this were to hold, we're looking at a sweep in the opposite direction of what we saw a week ago. And we saw Dodgers fans running their mouth. A lot of Dodgers fans. Sorry, this is more just me getting this off my chest. This doesn't
Yeah.
really have much to do with, anything that we've talked about, but
For sure.
my quote, my quote graphic, as I've alluded to on here, were from a couple episodes ago, where I said if a 7-game NLCS started today between these two teams, I'm taking the Padres. I'm 100% taking the Padres. A lot of Dodgers fans taking their victory laps. And here we are again. If this were to hold, they've already won the series, but if they go on to sweep, we're looking at a tie NLCS in this hypothetical scenario. So I don't know what victory lap the Dodgers fans were running, but anywho's just goes to show you how finicky this game can be sometimes and how quickly things can change.
Very true.
But I'm kind of hoping that we keep this score 2-1 because I've got Yamamoto on the fantasy bump, and I really need a good showing from him. So let's hope this score holds. However, speaking of on the bump, Shane Bieber made his debut over the weekend, struck out 9 across 6 innings of 1-run ball in his debut with the Jays. First,
at a certain point, we're gonna have to have a serious discussion about. Because they have not faded. They have not fallen off.
If they were Blue Jays fans that wanted to take it, I'll hear out those victory laps.
Yeah.
If there were Blue Jays fans that were coming after me, coming after you about being like, well, this isn't gonna maintain, this isn't gonna last. I was saying that.
We're eating crow on that for sure.
I'm eating crow. They can take their lap on that. Shane Bieber is a scary addition to an already scary Blue Jays team.
Yeah.
So, but even aside from how the Jays are doing, just good news for Shane Bieber. I think it was
good to see him back.
It's like almost a year and a half, I think, away. So love to see that for Biebs. Some unfortunate news. Austin Riley's out for the year, having core injury surgery. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't entirely know what core injury surgery is.
Me neither.
I thought that was just in reference to where the injury was, but apparently core injury is something more specific. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Can't tell you. Couldn't even guess.
This is why I keep my core soft.
There's no
Can't
straining over here.
If they're not there,
Well, I mean, no disrespect, but I don't know that Austin Riley is the chiseled Schwarzenegger that maybe we think he is.
Country strong. How long is he out? Or, I mean, how long is the recovery? Obviously he's done, but he's fine to come back next year on time, right?
I would imagine so.
It's no rib. It's no rib being removed,
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking like an Adam and Eve situation here. We're hopefully just back for opening day. I think should be pretty. I would have had to imagine if this was something more urgent. Maybe
there's 17 games out of it, so
still
probably
hope.
Smart. Just shut him down.
Still hope. Well, speaking of being out of it, the Rockies were eliminated from postseason contention today. So that's
tough.
They gave it their best go. We'll maybe run it back next year. See if maybe next year is the Rockies' year. Rocktober.
You'd hate to see a repeat. They are currently negative 349 runs on the run differential.
Which
scale.
The numbers don't tell the whole story. The Rockies were. It's a shame. There. It's a shame the season is only 162 games because the Rockies were right on the cusp.
They were turning the corner a little bit.
They were turning the corner and they were getting ready. I mean, they're 5-5 in their last 10. They lost 4 straight, but they were so close. They were so close.
94 games.
Again, win-loss record doesn't tell the whole story. They were better.
Yo.
Just trying to be positive here, man. Just trying to be positive.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
how are we feeling? Positive, negative about the Craig Kimbrel addition to the Astros staff? I'll just go ahead and say while you think of your answer. I don't necessarily think that this is going to do much of anything. I feel like this is just kind of another blip on the radar. Be like, oh, that's interesting. Has a few saves, maybe some important saves, has some blown saves, and then maybe he finds a job somewhere else or just retires, and we kind of go from there. I don't.
The hater thing is pretty serious.
Yeah, it's on the 10-day, but let's see. I don't know if, or excuse me, the 15. Or no, he's done for the year. That's right.
Hater is?
Yeah. Yeah, it said it would take him three more weeks to ramp up after his 3-week shutdown, meaning he likely won't pitch again in the regular season. So, and that was a week ago. So I think
it would have to be like a deep postseason run to see him return. I mean, look, no disrespect. How do the opportunities keep coming up? You're telling me there isn't someone better in your organization? You're telling me there's not a better option?
it does look, well, sorry about the hater thing. It does look like October's still in the mix. So not ruling that out, but either way, still a tough blow for the Astros. But I'm with you. Like, is there not a better option?
Like, why do teams act like anyone in the minor league system is like bagging groceries? Like they're professional athletes. I'd like to give one of these guys a shot.
Well, then
whatever.
On the flip side, you bring in a guy like Craig Kimbrel, and then everybody acts surprised when he goes out and blows 2 saves in a weekend. Like,
it's insane.
That's just what he does. No disrespect, one of the best to ever do it. But at this stage in his career, what are you really hoping for here? And I get it. You kind of have to make tough decisions when some of your better arms go down. You're like, okay, well, what do we do? But going back to what you said, there's got to be somebody else. No, I don't know.
Gosh, just enough. Enough is enough.
And lastly, here we'll end on a positive note. Adrian Beltre, did you? Let me get this on. Let me get this up here. Did you see the statue that they put?
Is it bad?
Dude, no. I'm putting it up. I'm putting it up.
Okay.
Check out this statue, dude. Look at this thing. Tell me that. I mean, that's top shelf.
I need to see the face.
I don't care about the face. Nobody's looking at the face.
Sick statue though.
The pose is all you need. You know, they could have went something stupid like just him standing there, him waving to the crowd. No, you go with Beltre on a knee and you call it a day. And not to mention the funny part about it. Let me see if I can find this picture. One of the first people,
the picture with him standing next to it is sick.
Here we go. Here it is. One of the first people to touch it after it was unveiled was Elvis Andrews touching his head.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. That's
cool.
That's good. That's good baseball lore right there. I love that.
I think the face looks pretty good. Job well done, because I feel it's been a rough stretch of statues as of late in the sports realm.
How are we missing so often these days?
So
like,
it's just like, how are they? I feel like that's a very specific job.
Literally one job. Make it look like the person.
Can't mess it up. Did you see the Tom Brady one? He's like 15 feet tall. It's the biggest statue of all time.
Well, I mean,
it's like the Statue of Liberty outside of Gillette Stadium, bro. Like,
was it outside or was it outside Gillette? Why do I feel like it was like near the tunnel? Was it not?
I think it's outside.
I guess that would make sense. I don't know why I thought I saw an angle.
They have like a weird entrance into their stadium. But they also chose like another props to the Beltray is that like the statue is just like so spot on with like a pose moment like that. He's known for that.
Exactly.
Like the Brady one's just like there's so many sick Brady snapshots that are like holding up the Lombardi trophy, like the
holding his head,
the holding the head. Like there's so many like sick moments that you could have just been like, this is the one we're going with. Okay. I don't know, man.
And to your point about not like having so many misses, like all it should have taken was for these teams and these organizations who, have situations where they have statues. All it would take is for them to look at the Ronaldo statue mishap and be
one
like,
of the worst, if not the worst.
We need to have a lockdown process of hiring whoever we're like.
It needed to be a very real look in the mirror across the statue game.
Yeah, the sculptors out there, I hope you took a good look in the mirror and asked yourself, am I really like, cut out for this?
Yeah, the D Wade one like a month ago. Not good.
Yeah, he was like 6 inches tall in that one, wasn't he?
That's the AI one. The Allen Iverson one is that's so mean.
That's so disrespectful, man.
What is that about?
Come on. That had to have been humiliating. Anywho's, big
good on the Rangers. Excellent job.
Big moves for the Rangers and Beltray. Love to see it. Any other thoughts before we get out of here? I did all right talking Sox Yanks. I do
appreciate you. I really do. I don't have the heart to take it. I'm hurting.
I had to chaperone our youth group to King's Dominion yesterday, and we're like riding bumper cars, and I'm watching Sox pour on like 7 in the ninth, and I'm getting like hit in the back, and I'm just taking it, and I got nothing but a smile on my face. And
pause. First of all, you got.
Sorry, I had to backtrack there. I was like, what did I say? Yeah.
You got some cool. You got some cool chaperone opportunities popping up, man. It's Orioles games. It's amusement parks.
Some are work, some are with our church. It is what it is. But I've gotten to go to some cool places. But I was too busy keeping track of our kiddos, and I didn't have time to
doing your job
to really take shots at you.
No, I appreciate it. I didn't have the heart. And
12-1.
Full transparency. I've turned multiple games off in this series, and I'm not watching tonight. So
did you see that clip of Josie McFly after the Roman Anthony homer on Thursday night?
No.
He said, well, because he streams the games and he's sitting there watching them, and you can hear the crack of the bat, and immediately picks up the remote, turns the TV off, and just turns the stream off.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, I get it. I've been there. Like, I'm gonna sit there and laugh, and I'm gonna rejoice in watching the demise of the Yankees. But at the same time, I get it. I'm like, I've been there. I don't even want to. I don't even want to watch baseball anymore
at this point. Yeah, like I'm struggling to care about any baseball. So just give me some time. Once we get into the postseason, thanks. I'll see if I can turn it around. I don't know.
Alex in chat said, glad to see Nate smiling considering the bloodbath yesterday. Yeah, I'm honestly impressed you're even here. So
yeah.
And one last one for the road. Yankees are toast. So I think on that note, we'll wrap it up. Check out the merch. Merch dropped, in case you missed it. Merch dropped Friday. Got some pretty sick additions to the shop with the new word mark and just some other things. That Stay Filthy crew neck that you sort of brainstormed. I'm very much adding to my collection once it gets a little cooler. There's a little bit of chill in the air. I'm obviously not out there, but there's
not yet.
Getting a little
not yet.
Some leaves are falling out here. So postseason baseball right around the corner. But yeah, check out the shop, 30take.com/shop. And we'll see you guys Wednesday. Oh yeah, that hat's there too. I threw that. I did you a solid. I threw it. I know how much you love that design. I threw it on a shirt there for you, and it's.
I know. I showed my sister's boyfriend yesterday, and he was like, "That is unbelievable. I got to get one of these. These are nice." And the green bill underneath is
that's so top tier. Nothing beats an underbill green. Oh man,
it doesn't. Anyways, it's this whatever that brand is, the classic.
Yeah, I threw that design on the pec, and then on that same shirt, it's on the back as like a large like back logo too.
I'm getting that for show.
Pretty clean.
Pretty clean.
Pretty cool. Check that out. And like I said, we'll see you guys Wednesday. If you guys ever have any questions, if you just want to chat ball, hit me up in the DMs. You know, if you have things that you want us to, okay, you know, there's a lot of baseball going on. If there's
this
things
ain't a bad idea, maybe we're at the air it out segment for a lot of teams where we're just gonna say good night to a lot of teams. Maybe there's some fans out there that you just need to air it out a little bit. DM us.
Say their what's the word? Say their team's eulogies. Yeah. You've said a eulogy for the Yankees on here more than once. So
yeah.
I think some fans would enjoy that opportunity.
Pretty good at it.
Anywho's, that's all I got.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.